Okay, all right, guys. Day one's in the books. I told the guys at the very end, I liked their attitude. Really, I liked their effort. I did tell them we got a long way to go, but that's the fun part. The key is going to be where we're at in 15 days. And really, the guys are just learning the standard, learning how to practice expectations. We were flying around, playing very, very fast, but I really was pretty pleased overall as far as the group's attitude, effort for the first day. Questions?
Coach Brandon Helwig, Rivals.com, working with the quarterbacks on the field for the first time. What was that like? And specifically, also, what was your impressions of working with Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah, well, first of all, the quarterbacks, I mean, we're just kind of starting from the basics, and all the guys got a chance in all the drills. Obviously, Dylan, you can tell he's a guy that's played a lot of football. And, we went extremely fast. There was a lot of different receivers that rotated in. That was by design. We'll start getting all the timing down and all the little things once we get the big picture. But, overall, the quarterbacks, I thought they were desperate to learn. And, I thought Dylan led the bunch today.
Gus, Matt Rochelle from the Orlando Sentinel. Obviously you're a veteran coach. You've been through spring practices before, but did this one feel a little different? Do you see a little bit of nerves because you're coming back after everything's gone on?
Really, it feels really natural. And, it feels like it did the very first practice I had at Arkansas State in 2012. And then it really feels like the very first practice I had in 2013 at Auburn. It felt the same. And here's the deal. I mean, everybody's equal. I mean, we're letting all of them play each practice. They earn what they get. And we're just trying to set the standard because there's probably some new things that, or we do things different probably than the last group did. So just trying to set the standard, count on me. We need to make sure we can count on each other. And they're getting used to their coaches too. But it was real exciting. I love the spirit of this group. I'll tell you that. That's what I told them after. I mean, we've got some potential and looking forward to working with this group.
Hey, Coach Christian Brewy, WFTV. What are the things you want to see on day one of a spring practice?
Yeah, I told him it's just attitude and effort. And I'll talk about that winning attitude, how you respond. There's going to be some ugly things. There was today. Well, I don't expect the timing to be perfect. I don't expect that, the steps to be perfect, but the attitude can. That coach me, coach attitude, how they respond to adversity. We strained them. We wanted to see how they're going to respond once they got tired, once they got hot. And I think for the most part, the guys that didn't, they kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. So it was really good to kind of see where we're at. But I do think we got a whole bunch of guys that want to be coached, that want to be good. And that was the encouraging thing for me.
Gus, Adam Shadow from Fox 35. I noticed a couple of things. One, no music for you, and two, you had the mic set up to the loudspeakers. Are those two standard things for Gus Malzahn practices?
Well, I tell you what, we will have music as it goes, but I just thought, especially the first week, we got to teach. And I want to make sure they're locked in on the teach. They can hear the coaches. We slowed down a lot between drills. We either went really slow or really fast. But we'll turn the music on, as the spring practice goes and as far as that goes. And I've always had the little mic there just to make sure we can communicate and, everybody can hear, especially a defensive field being, on the other side, pretty big surface away from the offense.
This being your first spring practice, how familiar are you with the roster and how do you feel it's shaping up right now?
I'm somewhat familiar. I tried not to do a whole lot of prejudging, watching film from last year. I did watch some, just to make sure, put guys in positions best we can, but trying to have everything, open and equal. Let everybody earn everything. It's kind of a new day here. And so that really has been my approach.
Gus, what's your biggest concern as you guys go through the next 14 practices of spring? What do you want to see from these guys by the time it's all done?
Yeah, we're going to be fairly simple. We're just going to build the foundation. For us as coaches, it's two things. We're building the foundation of what we are offensively, defensively, and special teams, and we're evaluating, where we're going to put the pieces of the puzzle, try to figure out what our strengths are, try to figure out what our weaknesses are, and build around our strengths. And really, more than anything, I know offensively is putting the guys in the right position for what we want to see in the fall. So it's a combination of those two things.
Coach Brandon Hellwig again from Rivals.com. There's going to be a vote, I believe, on Wednesday about recruiting and the dead period and potentially lifting that on June 1st. Obviously, it's been a long time coming. The last 13 months have pretty much been no contact. Do you think, college football is obviously ready by the time we get to June that you guys can safely, host recruits and camps and that sort of thing?
I really think we can with the information we have, to do that. And so, I think most coaches around the country, most programs really hope it does open up June 1st. I know most recruits, and I really feel like we can handle the COVID etiquette situation and be safe with that. The camps are something that we feel real strong about too, that we feel like we could do a good job with that.
Coach Trey Strelko, Sons of UCF. From a conditioning standpoint, what did you see today? And could you talk a little bit more about how Chris Dawson came onto your radar and what you hope he brings to the program?
Yeah, our guys, Chris has been here for 3.5 weeks, something like that. Our guys, and they didn't really have a full-time strength coach, I think, for almost a month. So they weren't in great shape, and that's okay. I mean, what I asked these guys to do, and Chris did a good job of laying a foundation. We're not in great shape right now, but what it allows us to do is, can we push through? And that's what I told our guys, just make sure you push through mentally and physical toughness. And I think for the most part, our guys did that today. As far as Chris is concerned, he's a guy that not just me, but every head coach in America knows who he is. And, for us to get him here, he's one of the top in the country. There's been huge schools try to get him the last 3 or 4 years, and he chose to stay. But he felt like this place and this opportunity, had great potential. And he that's the main reason he came. We're very blessed to have him. I would say that our players have really enjoyed working with him. And, the key to working hard, you got to enjoy it. As a player, you got to want to come work out and be pushed and developed and all that. And he's laid the groundwork so far for that. And I think if you ask our players, they would second that.
Gus, Jason Beatty with 24/7 Sports. We talked about the players getting out there on the practice fields, and we got to see a little bit of that this morning. From a coaching perspective, you worked with some of these guys before, but not everyone has worked with each other. How did you feel like that went out, and how do you feel like the coaches are responding to this first practice?
Yeah, I was very pleased with our coaches' energy, positive energy, and just flying around, coaching. And, players will feed off their coach. And there was some great positive energy from our coaching staff. They're so excited to work with our guys. They're so excited to be here. So it's a really good group. We're very fortunate to have this staff.
Gus, Adam Shadow from Fox 35 again. How much of your kind of playbook and system do you try to install here? And do you have to kind of stop yourself from trying to overload everybody at once?
Yeah, that's a great point. What we've done is we're going to go very slow. We're going to lay the foundation. We're going to get good at things before we leave the spring. And that's really our goal. So we're going to go extremely slow. I think we've got 6 days of install, and we're going to come back and reinstall the 6 days. So, we're not going any more than that. And then it kind of fits in with evaluating our players. I mean, that's going to be real critical to developing, our plan offensively and defensively and special teams until we, get a couple recruiting cycles and you recruit specific to certain positions.
Gus, John Alba again from Spectre Sports. Sorry about that. The computer wouldn't unmute me. What kind of open-mindedness to all of that have you seen from the players? Have they been receptive to the new stuff you're trying to implement here?
I think so. I will tell you this. I love our players. I just getting to know them for a month. They're bright-eyed. You can tell they're excited. Now they're probably a little anxious too, for the newness and how we're going to operate. But man, the players have made a great impression on me so far.
Gus, Dylan Gabriel's kind of obviously a little bit of the veteran on the quarterback room. What are you kind of hoping to see out of him? Kind of maybe to take some bigger ownership, some bigger leadership through the spring practice.
You talking about the other guys, or you talking about Dylan?
Dylan, what you want to see from him as he takes on a larger.
There's no doubt. He's learning the new things too. So he'll lead the group. And today, I think he had a really good start, as far as just the leadership and all that. And like I said, I think we're in a good spot. And, you know, to have a chance to win a championship, you have to have a big time quarterback, what he's done before. And I think he's in a really good spot. And I think he's got a good understanding of the big picture of what we want to accomplish this spring too.
Gus, Chris Vanini from The Athletic. The AFCA and the NCAA have started a push to try to prevent players from faking injuries to slow down a tempo. As someone who has run a lot of tempo in the past, is that something you've had to deal with from an opponent? And what do you think about the idea of trying to come up with a penalty?
Yeah, you know, of course, I'm all for coming up with a penalty. That, you know, the key is from official standpoint, the objectivity instead of subjectivity. You know, but yeah, I would be all for that. But I know when you talk to officials, it puts them in a very, you know, tough spot, you know, as far as, you know, how to officiate it.
All right, thanks, guys. That's it for Coach.
Okay, thank you, guys.